So what makes me laugh about this entire like paragraph about his fireball?
What's up?
Belial's existence.
Well, I think it's a lot of people's reactions, right? Like they'll see their nerfs and then they'll see Belial and they're like, "Wait, but I thought y'all did this to balance the game." And then it's like, "Okay, but here's Belial." It's like, "Wait, what?" And then it's like, "No, hold that." I'm like, "Okay, Arxis."
On that note, I don't know if we ever plan to talk about this, but can I give some suggestions on how to nerf Belial without
Let's go.
calling him out, right?
Let's go. Let me open up Word. Open up Word. Opening up Word. I'm opening up Word.
I mean, I actually don't even think he. I mean, there's two ways they could go about it. They could either buff everyone else, like they could literally just have pre-patch versions of some characters, or they could just like I guess nerf him. I don't know.
Give me pre-launch Lance.
We'll go off the assumption that they're nerfing because that's what they've been doing.
Yes.
I would prefer them make everyone crazy, but that's because I just
enjoy
creativity. So
if you want me to like really go in depth in this, I actually did talk about this on stream. There were a couple of things that they should nerf about the character. But how about this? So I'll say what my nerfs were and explain my reasoning because I like legit sat down. Chaotic Chris is like, please do not buff everyone else. All right, let me ask you a question, Chris. Would you rather like everyone goes back to season 1 except Fairy, because we can't have season 1 Fairy, and so how about everyone goes back to season 1? So that means toxic ass Fame gets his autocorrect stance. Tempest here gets his autocorrect demon flip. Everyone goes back to season 1 unless your name is Fairy, and we leave Belial the way he is. Would you be fine with that? Actually, all y'all can answer that too if y'all want. But
the thing about that though is some characters get buffed. Like for example, Vossaraga got buffed, and Belial versus Vossaraga right now is bad, right? So it's like, huh?
Okay,
just keep everyone the same.
It's kind of weird, right?
So I definitely wouldn't mind like having this version of Vossaraga except with like season 1 counter hit stance conversions and stance autocorrect. I would definitely like that, Voss.
Yo, what if Voss could still do close cell 2 ME stance?
I think the choosing which version you want idea was better than this.
No, I said season 1. Everyone gets season 1, so I'd be getting my turbulence. All of you would have to bite the bullet on that. All right, so so the way I approached this last time was I was talking about his moveset and I would explain why his like normal moves, special moves, etc., right? So if you guys can tune in at any moment you guys want, but I already have an idea of which moves I would want nerfed. So wait, this is not the move.
But can I say a nerf right now?
Is it a normal move or a special move?
It's a normal. It's a jump normal.
Sure. What's up? Jump you?
Make jump you. So when he does trait and jump you or not jump you. When he does trait, he stomps on you. You just get knocked down and that's it.
Yeah.
Make JU do that.
I feel like JU should not be giving a combo, but I don't know why. Like, so the way I go about like his Belial changes is just like if you have something that another character has but better, that's a problem. Especially if it was nerfed recently. So like, I think we're all in agreement that 2L being 5 frames is one of the most stupidest things that ever happened in this game.
It literally does not make any sense.
So I think 6 frame startup is reasonable. 2M. So my argument on 2M is I don't think it should be +1 and 7 frame startup. I think it should be one or the other, right? Because what ends up happening is because it's +1 and 7 frames with a game with crush system in the game, unless your name is Lancelot and Armaya and he's doing 2M at point blank range, you cannot challenge it. And even then, if you're trying to do like stagger pressure, it's also a low. I was about to get to that too. It's also hit confirmable. But the thing is, right, even if it's +1 and 7 frames, you can't do stagger pressure against him because if you try to do like 2L and like try to dash up, he could just press 2M because at that point, he's going to crush you. Like, so I think it should be one or the other, but not both. So if it's +1 and like I want to say 8 frame startups, I'd be fine with that. But I can't. I feel like they either have to increase. They either have to increase startup, or they either have to increase startup or decrease frame advantage.
I mean, I think, personally speaking, it could stay plus if it was slower, like Grand and Normaya. So
Yeah, so it was like one or the other. So like 8 frame startup,
Yeah.
eight frame startup might be pushing it, but I think 9 frame would be like the safe zone. All right, so Neocrush, when you say when you say significantly decreased frame advantage, what would you rather it be? Like minus? Because Gandito said -3, and if they make it -3, that'd be kind of ham. I'm not gonna be against it, but that'd be kind of ham.
Touching 2M would depend on how you touch the other things he has. So, like, if you took away 623M and the wheels being plus, and then also touch the 2M, that's actually just putting him into bottom tier really quickly.
1 second.
Other stuff too.
So, Belial's. I think the thing about Belial,
Argument with this with Gran too, like why does he have a +1 2M? But just taking away his boot, look what happened to Gran. Like you can't actually literally take away everything all at once. You have to choose some stuff to leave there.
I was in a camp that actually wanted to keep his boot, but not the 2M. But I think some people preferred it the other way around. I mean, if they were gonna nerf, that was my thought process, but I'm not really sure.
I was thinking, like when it came to Belial 2M, if they were going to touch it, I would probably go with startup because it is a low, all things considered.
I think they literally just did that to be different. They were just like, yo, most of these characters have like mids as 2Ms. Let's just make his 2L a mid and then his 2M a low. And they were just like, okay.
I'd rather them make the 2M a mid instead of like frame advantage or startup changes to that actually.
So you would make 2L low instead?
No, just
so he has no loads?
No loads?
That sounds so weird. I'm not gonna lie. Playing without loads because people are like fuzzying all the time, but I can still see it working.
What you do with the 2M really depends on what you do with his special moves. If you touch both, then you're actually just trying to kill him to unplayable levels.
I mean, my thing about Belial though is I think a lot of his power lies in the wheel, so it's kind of just like a weird situation. The main thing is I definitely just want nerf from him is the 5 wheel though.
That's why I'm saying this right now. If you made his 2M more startup, if you took away the frame advantage and then you also nerf the wheels, what does he do for pressure? Lights? Nothing else? Even Normaya gets more than that.
Right. I mean, yeah, I mean, Safari is just a funny conversation because that move is like, whoa.
All things considered, though, I definitely think the 2M is like very low on my priority list of things.
I can see why. Okay, because like, let me go to frame data again. So,
by the way, if you nerf startup for 2M, you also affect his combo routes too. Please keep that in mind.
That is perfectly fucking fine.
So let's see, 2M, right? 2M is actually 7 frames while being a low, while being +1. Okay, and Grand's 2M is actually a mid that is also 7 frames. Okay.
So increase startup. I think increasing the startup is the best answer.
So here's what I would honestly do. To be honest, I would leave the 2M alone, but I would go in on the 4H.
Nah. That 4M creates problems in game like this.
I think. So what's your reasoning? Because I want you to compare his 2M with Grand and Normaya.
No, so it's like the situations that it creates, right? So 5 is +1 on hit, right?
Yes.
It's not +1 on hit, +2. It's +2 actually, because of his crouching. So the fact that it forces crouching and it's +2 on hit, if you try to respond with the 5-frame normal, it 2M jails at that point, and you still get a free conversion. So all his tools are working in tandem a little too well.
Fuck this character, man.
You actually have to like touch 2M at some point. And then,
I mean, if wheel was a bit slower but stayed plus, I think having an 8-frame 2N would be fine.
I still hate the fact that wheel is +17 on block, but you know.
Teiga,
I mean-
your mic is exploding.
Oh, my
Yeah, I was
bad.
about to say that.
I mean, Robo Teiga.
The
Yo.
wheel. I really do think the biggest problem with Bilal's are the wheel and 5H though. Those moves are insane. 10 frames of recovery 5H. Like, are you sure?
Can you see me? Is it still exploding now?
Gamera. So the thing, I saw Gamera do that. And I was kind of confused. So it is -1. It does bully 6 framers though. So that's kind of funny that Cheetah was able to do that.
I missed that with Cheetah, but not because of the pressure situation. I
It was,
missed
like,
that
counter
with
hit
Cheetah. Yeah, the counter hit confirm. If they could like change frame advantage on block and hit separately instead of just like universal charting attack levels, that would be good for certain things.
I'm gonna reset my microphone. 1 second.
Okay.
I think it's fair for Cheetah to not be able to just 2M, 2M, 2M on 6 framers on block. That's stupid, but her losing the hit confirm off that, like on counter hit, is kind of lame, honestly.
I was also thinking of like because even say you're not point blank when you're further out, like her doing 2M 2M. The more I thought about, it, I'm like, what is any character about to do this? Like what? It's -1, so good luck.
Yo, so guys, I gotta head out.
Oh, okay.
I have work in the morning, so but I just want to say my quick piece about Belial. I agree with Base in the sense that like you don't want to destroy too many of his tools, or the character's really gonna get over nerfed, right? Especially if you destroy the main tools. It's kind of his gameplay and really centered around like the 2M, the 5H, the wheel. And if you nerf all of them, well, what's his game plan now, right? If it were up to me, I would hit 5H, maybe like give it more recovery or give it more startup or something like that. And I would just reduce his damage. I think it does way too much damage. Put like additional scaling, EX Fireball, additional scaling on EX Asmodeus. And I think, I don't know, I think the character would be in a pretty good spot.
I think
But-
lowering the damage. I actually forgot about the damage. That would be fair. I was just thinking that there's a lot of power in that one move. Like the wheels literally dictate so many matchups. Like
You actually don't need to increase scaling. You would just need to lower the literal raw
base
damage
values.
Yeah,
amount.
base value
Yeah.
damage. Like the wheels shouldn't do that much damage.
Yeah,
They
EX
should,
wheels
like-
insane.
Yeah, because the fireball hits and then the wheel hits and it's like 1500. Like,
Very reminiscent of Carmine,
Yeah.
actually.
yeah, reduce that damage, reduce EX Asmodeus, maybe reduce some damage on like 5H or something. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, if he,
It
if,
could be
if
just
yeah,
decrease the risk reward a little bit,
yeah.
or the reward a little bit for Belial.
Don't nerf his backdash. I think his backdash post nerf right now is already fine.
But yeah, peace, guys, and thank you for hosting, Teiga. It was a lot of
problem.
fun, and hope you guys in stream chat got something out of it too. So
Yeah.
peace.
Goodbye.
Peace. Network.
But yeah, like I definitely agree with them there. It's mainly like the fight. It's mainly like the 4H and like some of the damage and like these risk reward
Yeah.
scenarios.
There's so much power in that. Like, oh my gosh, that wheel is very annoying. It fundamentally changes how you play neutral against them.
So I'm gonna just like list what I think should be changed. Whether you guys can like.
Okay, you sound good now.
Yeah, you sound good.
All right, so 214X. I think M and H should definitely be punishable. Well, actually, no. I don't think M Asmodeus should be punishable. I think H Asmodeus should be punishable on block.
Would be in line with what they did. I'm just not gonna lie, that just sounded whack. But I'm like, wait a second, they actually just did that to Jita and Narmaya, so maybe that
Exactly.
is something they should do.
I think M should be. I don't know if
I mean, I think I don't know. I think M is fine. I mean, they're
So-
not using it that much.
So my problem with M is that it nets more reward than light, and it's frequently used on crouching combos, but it's kind of free chip. But if you dodge it, there's really no like consent. There's really like no reason to dodge it, like because even if you
I
dodge
think-
it,
uh,
because even if
I
you
think-
dodge it, you're still relinquishing your turn. So I want to say M should be slow. M startup should be slower, but still retain the same combo potential as before.
Same combo potential. I mean, that'd be fair. I guess as long as you can still do the combos, I think it'll be fine.
M is spot dodgeable, yes, but you don't like. when you spot dodge Zeta's M Rekka, you kill her for dodging it. With Belial, there is no killing. Like he gets the same reward. Dodge or hit, dodge or blocked.
Or recovery on whiff. So the thing about this game is with stuff like a lot of moves in this game are actually not that whiff punishable already. Specifically special moves, to be honest, like say Charlotta Ball or Story's Punch. So it's like there's already a lot of special moves that are kind of hard to whiff punish. I think the recovery is fine.
Oh yeah.
I think the stupidest thing about Asmodeus though is the fact that the L version is able to like clash with M clash level moves. I'm like, what?
That just needs to go.
That doesn't make sense.
That just needs to go.
I think they should just lower the clash level on all three of them because it doesn't make sense that he can literally beat other moves, other characters doing the same level moves.
Yeah, I'd be
straight up.
Yeah, I'd be clashing with him. I'd be scared to press a fucking button. So yeah, I agree with more recovery on whiff. L is fine. It's -6. I mean, it's minus. 1 second. My door's ringing. It's -6, but I do think like it should have less pushback because even though it's -6, it's hard for Lance to punish it. But Percival gets a free 5L every time, a free far 5L.
But yeah, I think the damage should probably be adjusted, but I don't know. The more I think about this character, I think I would be fine if he did the most damage in the game if the wheel wasn't so oppressive in neutral. I feel like he should just be weaker in neutral.
I mean, I don't mind him being strong, like up close. I feel like
exactly
should be strong.
I think him being up close is fair, but I just think his neutral is way too strong for the reward he gets.
Yeah, I just think he's too strong everywhere. Like, just too strong. Just the whole screen. It's just, I don't know. He just does too much.
Yeah, the 2M. Yeah, I mean, personally, I guess that I would be fine if they just left it.
Yeah, I don't mind the 2M, honestly.
If 2L should be 6 frames, it doesn't make any sense why it's
Just the 2L being 6 actually changes combo routes too.
But
you don't see 2M close M.
Right, but Ladiva has something similar where her 2L is 6 frames, but also a mid. And it's like, but why? It's like, why does Belial have a 5 framer, right? If they're both mids. It messes with clash situations very hard.
2L can go to 6, especially because it's just too easy to hold down back and mash 2L.
My only issues with the character is really just the 2L, the far 5H, and the pinwheel. Or
yeah, those 3 things bother me the most, especially the wheel and far H. I'm like, yeah, no.
2L needs to be 6. The clash level on 214L needs to go down. You don't actually have to change the M and H one, but you definitely have to change the L one for sure.
Yeah.
You definitely need to add like a frame or 2 to far heavy. Even putting it at 10 would make it enough for characters to swing back at him.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I wouldn't say put it 12 like Percival, because Percival's actually reaches further.
Maybe? I'm not really sure.
10 or 11 is probably fair.
Yeah, I think my problem with the far H is on block he can cancel. On the second hit on block he's completely safe. On hit you die. So it's like, okay, this move is really dumb.
So
on whiff, you're not really whiff punishing. No, we're just talking about below. I was just explaining how his far H should probably be either 10 or 11 frames, probably 11, and have the recovery
I agree
increase.
with 11 frames. I think it should have additional recovery.
It should have additional recovery, but just make sure it's not punishable on block, because I don't think it should be punishable on block. He throws his body at you.
All you can do is add a frame to it.
That 2M nerf is too much for. Oh no, it's either or. Like you see how like I have 5H with and this one is either or. You either it's agreed that 2M should either have increased startup or decreased frame advantage, not both. All right, I have a question. Do you guys think that his 236, well, in regards to his H follow up, do you think it should be plus 17 plus 21?
Hmm.
My
No.
problem with the EX or the H version of that move in general is you're supposed to guess mash on it, but if you're wrong, you lose, and if
So
he's
much
right,
life.
he just ships you and gets another turn. So
I just don't like that he hits you for like 60% of your
the
HP.
move, I think the move is actually overloaded. It literally changes how you play neutral. You
Yeah,
cannot spot
he
dodge
hits
his
like
projectiles.
he hits like Percival if Percival never had stocks.
It's actually insane. Like the wheel is extremely insane. Like there's no doubt about it. And I think even if you nerfed it like even a lot, that move would still be really good because conceptually he can choose any version he wants to react to where you are. He could just get plus frames.
It'd probably
Even if
be
they
in the
take away the
bedroom.
quote unquote plus frames, it's like the move would still be really good in neutral. So it's like, huh. I think I would just nerf its neutral application, so maybe just give the
I think
normal
so.
fireball more recovery.
I think one of my main problems with it is like the RPS behind the move itself is busted. So even in neutral,
Yes.
right? Like if you try to like dodge it, he could just 4H you and now you take damage for it. Or if you try to roll it, now he could 4L you and you're still taking damage for it. So I think
And sometimes if you roll, he could still 4H, and if depending on where he is, he could get a combo too.
Okay,
plus
sometimes
20.
he can do 4M, and it'll hit the roll. Actually,
And he gets a combo.
I also don't like if you choose to block it. It's just like he's like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna throw another one. Or
Yeah, get
if
that
he-
chip damage.
or if he's close, he can even like press
What's down the
something.
scale?
The
It's
meter
just-
gain is also insane on it.
the thing, like what I would, it's weird. I don't know what would happen to frame advantage if you took a hit off of all the wheels.
I literally think that move is just like not balanced, just straight up. But
At all.
it's like you put Carmine wheel in this game, and it's like what? But
I'll be honest. I can't think of a way to nerf that wheel without making it hot trash.
I mean, the thing about that wheel fame is so say it was no longer plus, right? Like say the non-EX version was no longer plus, right? That move would still be extremely good in neutral. So I'm saying to do that. I actually want him to keep the plus frames, actually. But I'm just saying, like, even if you did a severe nerf like that, that move would still be good.
Yeah, like even if that move wasn't plus, it still does match up, and it gives him like 8 meter.
Yeah, like say the EX version was plus, but no other version was plus, that move would still be really good. So it's like, huh?
character is crazy.
Yeah, I can't.
I literally think that's the best part of his entire toolkit. Like, I might be my
Hey,
Shalana
you know
bias.
what
I don't
might
know.
be a good idea?
I think. Go ahead.
Take 2 hits off the H1, but make the startup faster, so you can just like take away the RPS, but he can keep a plus wheel. Because again, if you take away all his plus frames, you're not trying to balance him; you're just trying to kill him. Never gonna forget people saying Grands just need to learn how to play neutral. They took away the boot, and like he's literally dead. Like small changes mean a lot in this game.
Belial Will is a weird case where I'm just thinking to myself, like, it needs to be nerfed, but it's a matter of how. I actually think Diaphone's suggestion of nerfing the base damage could go kind of a long way to make sure his risk reward is not too high.
Did they nerf Cheetah's base damage? Because I feel like she hits substantially.
I actually do think that like making the startup on EX Fireball faster would help a lot. Actually, it would make it so that in a lot of places, like going into EX Fireball isn't a frame trap.
Can he still delay it?
If it's fast enough, no, because that's the same problem Matera has.
Okay. All right, maybe that could be cool. Like he would still keep the plus frames, but you just can't, explode someone for just getting hit by the raw projectile.
Yeah, that's why the other reason I suggested faster startup, but like taking hits away from the wheels, because taking hits away would lower frame advantage, right?
Please lower frame advantage.
So that would help with stuff like Vasaraga, but also he would at least keep frame advantage on the heavy one. Especially if you if you make the startup faster, you could actually meaty with the heavy, so he could still do things that would be unique to him, but that wouldn't be overpowered.
So long as you don't touch the attack level on the fireball, as long as you get the timing down, the EX fireball into like H wheel will still be a true block string. So that way you'll still get your double digit plus frames when you actually spin your cooldown.
Yeah, I think my personal main changes would be 2-1-4L, lower clash level, far H, more startup, a bit more recovery.
Far H being 10 to 11 has to happen.
2L 6 frames, and wheel anything. So yeah, I think I also agree that keeping his identity intact. I think the wheel is a big part of who he is. So I probably wouldn't nuke it, but I definitely just think that move is just fundamentally really stupid.
I forget if it was you or Diaphone who brought up Carmine, but if you use Carmine, for example, imagine if you said all his startup needs to go up, his frame advantage needs to go down, and his wheel needs to do less damage, needs to be minus on block, and
minus on block wheel.
Yeah, no, that sounds stupid, right? That's why you have to be careful with Belial's tools.
Yeah, I was the one who compared it to Carmine, but yeah, like I don't know. I think stuff like that could just go a long way, in my opinion.
So it's like said that
his wheel should take away his HP. I'm not gonna lie. I am straight up not going to lie. If
that'd
they
be a
did
cool
that,
idea.
if they did that, and Asmodeus restored his HP, I would. I think that would be kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
That might actually be like a cool concept. But would you still be taking the extra damage for being at close range when you get hit with Asmodeus?
Maybe, but what I do know is that would kind of balance the wheel a bit, because you couldn't just spam it the entire time, which kind of helps with the the concept of making the wheel not too oppressive. Like, you could just make it like, oh, the wheel's the same, but now you just can't use it all the time, and it's like it would still be a really good move, of course, but yeah,
because it breaks it down.
Yeah, Carmine Wheel is better, but it does cost life to use, which is
so. All right, so I think that might be like a really cool concept to implement. If he does Fireball normally, like if he just doesn't do the follow up, that's fine. But if he does do the follow up, it takes away his health. Is that like a cool agreement that we can come to?
I think if they did that, I think that would be very cool. It's like
it would add another layer to the character. You wouldn't just throw out 4-8. You wouldn't throw out his 4. I mean, it would turn him into Carmine, but it wouldn't make his like there would be like some type of risk to using a good ass fireball.
I mean, my only thing with that is just that it probably doesn't make sense for his like lore or whatever.
I mean, if he's like 10k health,
make him lose meter instead. I would be more okay with that if meter did something in this game.
Literally only use meter for one thing in this game.
It's like,
and his supers are dog. Like it doesn't even matter.
But yeah. But yeah, there's various things you could do. I thought that HP idea was cool, but to be honest, definitely hard on that far H thing. I think far H is ridiculous.
So let's try to make like an actual. I know I was like absent for a few parts, but let's try to make this an actual list. So 2L should be 6 frame startup. That's not negotiable. 2M should either have increased startup or decreased frame advance. Can no one hear me? Can no one hear me? Oh, someone said my mic was muted. Okay. 2M should be increased startup or decreased frame advantage. That either or. Far H should be 11 frames and additional recovery. jump you. What did you say? Base wanted. What did Base say she wanted for jump you?
I don't think she said anything about
I
jump
said make it like the trait follow
Oh, never mind.
because I think if he's gonna have an anti-tier or an
Tier bait.
anti-tier, that's fine. But the problem with how it is right now is for one thing, it's too rewarding on hit when he jumps at you. But even in pressure, it's like having an overhead that's plus on block, and you realize like how important throw versus frame traps, overheads, etc. are. So having a move like that makes literally no sense. You could just make it knock down. He could still get a turn. That would be his reward. You could still make it safe on block, just like the trait, but not plus. But you can't let him get 5k combos off of it hitting you. That's just completely untuned, illogical concept.
Yeah.
214L. I mean 214X. 214X. I think should be 214X. I think is fine with the nerfs we already listed. M should have more recovery on whiff. H should be punishable on block because it's Gita treatment. DP is fine. That's just you having to have good reactions. 236X. I don't know what I mean. Raw, I think it's fine. But again, I still wanted to have less pushback because not everyone's going to be able to punish that despite it being -10. So I feel like if you're committing, you should be able to reap the rewards of a move being -10 because it's harder for me to punish that move being -10 than it is, let's say, any other special move, I guess, in the game.
I would just lower the base damage on the EX will, and that's about it. Like the EX, like a projectile anyway. That would be literally be it.
I'll mainly just do that and reduce the startup of EX Fireball.
Lower damage, less advantage on block. Does he have to keep? Oh, I'm about to say, does he have to keep the advantage on hit? Because 21 is fucking OD.
Well, hold
I
on, hold
think
on.
one of the things that makes him unique is the fact that he actually gets like sizable mid-screen combos.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how I feel about that because they removed that from Ladiva but kept it on Charlotta. So I'm like, okay, what?
I can only think of like 4 characters that have mid-screen combos like that.
Asaraga too.
I'm telling you, the way to fix that would be take a hit or two away from that wheel. It would still be enough frame advantage to get a combo probably, but you wouldn't be obscenely plus.
Okay, I'm fine with that. Oh, you said take away hits.
Take a hit away from the wheel. Just the H wheel, not the other two.
Yeah, that's fine. Other two is like +2, +6. It's only the H follow up that's absurdly plus.
Yep.
Bye. I'm gonna still say I want less pushback on raw fireball. I feel like if you do something like that, you should be actually punished for it, not rewarded. Despite the rarity of it actually happening. Any other things?
I mean,
I would just reduce the startup on EX Fireball so he has like less opportunities to RPS with it. That'll just like help make things easier to deal with.
I guess I would give him new converts, but it's not too bad.
I gotta think. Oh, so you said additional. Okay, if this has additional recovery, that means the frame advantage of it on it would change, so it wouldn't be +2 on hit anymore. That's fine. As long as he can't do 5H, raw 5H into 2M in jail, I don't care.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Like that shouldn't be in the game.
I think everything else is fine, to be honest. So that's my input on that.
Yeah, 2H isn't the problem, but the amount of damage he gets from 2H is wild. Actually, no, he actually does get I mean, the thing is, everyone has like some type of weird ass hitbox under 2H at this point, so I've kind of accepted it as like normalcy at this point. Like I forgot who I was playing. Actually, no, I think it was I think it was Black and Galaxy. I was legit behind him, and his 2H hit me, and I was just like, "Yep, okay, this makes sense."
Yeah, that's just Arxis and Tears.
So changes.
I don't got much to say other than whatever y'all already said.
I think I'd be fine on all of this. Surprisingly, this is actually better than what I did because mine was like 2 pages.
What?
Oh my god.
This game with characters, you don't need sweeping changes to make them in line. Like 1 or 2 things are usually enough to put people with everyone else.
Like, so for me, I said the 2L should be 6 frame startup. I said 2M should be increased frame advantage. I mean, increased startup or decreased frame advantage. Far H, like I think I might have gutted. Jump U, I think I left alone. Even though I shouldn't have left it alone, considering that like Vasaraga and Percival have the same jump U as him, and they don't get combos off of it. And they even nerfed the fact that Percival gets a follow up on his jump U.
Block, which was, by the way, the dumbest thing. But anyway.
Hey, motherfucker.
No,
Hey.
no, we're not talking about it.
Hey, leave it alone. Leave it alone. Zombu, thank you for the 16 party raid.
If you're gonna leave the wheels as is, as far as the 2M goes, I think the change you would go for is decrease frame advantage instead of increase startup. Like just make it 0 or something.
Zom says hi. Base.
Yeah.
Hi.
Fuck Zom.
Damn.
Crazy.
You hear that, Jeff? I hope you heard that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, he has a lot of plus frames, so he probably doesn't need a plus frame on 2M as well if he has 63M and wheel.
If you're gonna keep wheels and DP, then you can take away frame advantage, but don't also increase startup. Just let them be 0 or something, and that'll be fine. Or
Yeah, I think 2M 0, considering everything else is fair.
I think 0 specifically to make them unique from the others.
I'd be fine. I'd be fine with 2M being 0 on block. At least you can challenge it now. But
as long as you have a 5 frame.
No, you can challenge it. No, you can't even challenge it with 5 frames.
Well, I said 6 frame. Well, hold on. Like, if you did 2M, if it was 0 and you did 2M, I mean, close cell will just clash, right?
No. It's if he's fighting Lance, he has to be point blank.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, yeah.
If he's not point blank, I lose every time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
To push it more, -1 could do.
Why would 2M be 0 when 5M is 0 and not a low?
Oh, there's something dumb about his 5M and it's the proximity range.
I
just didn't talk about it because no one knows about it. Like, and no one really cares about it either. No one really talks or cares about it, so I don't think talking about it matters that much, but he can do close M into close M and actually beat 5 framers.
You see, I thought that was just me, but I thought I was crazy.
No, so basically...
I showed people that, yeah.
The proxy range combined with him pushing you out of your proxy range, out of your close L, makes people get far L. So for example, I labbed it with Charlotta and I kept getting far L. I'm like, oh, I actually cannot mesh on this. Lol.
But he loses it if he's running at you. If he runs at you, you'll probably get your 5L back.
If I remember correctly, yes.
Lance has the same thing. Lancelot can do the same thing with his 5M. But the difference is my 5M isn't as rewarding as that motherfucker's 5M. So yeah.
Yeah.
So we could decrease proxy range. That's fair.
Just make it like everyone else. Like, I'm not sure why his is like super massive. It's like, what?
I'll be honest, I'm a little against that, just due to the fact of the way his 2M works.
What do you mean? Oh, I mean, because of the pushback? I mean...
Because like his 2M doesn't really have that much pushback, and it's only like a frame slower. At that point, it's like, why press that button?
I guess, but the thing is, his 2M has more range than his obviously close M, right? So you would just use it depending on the spacing. And also you can cancel into wheel, which is strong in of itself.
I think that's fair. Is there anything else that we missed with this character?
Really?
Mm,
I mean, I think even doing some of these changes in here would just go a long way because
So because we know we're not, Jesus Christ, my door again. Because we know we're not gonna get all of these changes, let's try to boil it down to like 4 changes, 3 or 4 at best.
look, I'm just gonna say this right now: 2L, far H, and wheel. Yeah, I don't care about anything else. Like,
me too. That's
Literally.
I actually
I
don't care about anything else.
No, I want that 2M gone. I'm sorry, that 2M has to go.
All right, that's you, but I'm just saying
That's
for
you.
myself. Like, hold on.
Yeah, I think those would be like the 4 changes: 2L, 5H, and jump U. Quote says.
Yeah, I would definitely say like 2L, far H, JU, and wheel.
It's crazy. Like the character is so strong that we don't know which one. Like there's no like actual consensus on which. Like I'm looking at the viewers chat. There's no actual consensus on which nerf should he get. But I think the proxy range should be fine.
It's been like this with other characters before who weren't even as strong. Again, with Gran, last patch, not like launch Gran, but last patch to 2.0, people couldn't decide if they wanted 2M to not be plus or if they wanted boot gone.
I mean, they chose boot, so.
There were some people that wanted both gone, which literally would have killed Gran. Like
I really wanted him to keep the boot. It's so iconic, and I think it's fair. But damn, that 2M, I was just like, as a Charlotte player, I'm like, damn that 2M.
But if I was to get like an extra one, I'm gonna just highlight this one. Jump you.
Well, can I give one extra one that's really small? It's not that noticeable, but like if anyone has played Belial, they would understand why I'm saying this. Reduce the active frames on JH.
Yo, if MBK was here, he would be giving you a round of applause. Because I saw MBK fight Bisu yesterday, and boy, did he get jump H'd out of everything. Son.
The truth is, the JH, you're like, so you know when you jump and you start, you hit the part of the arc where you're starting to go down.
Yeah.
If you put JH out right there, it stays active all the way to the ground on crouchers.
Interesting. I've definitely seen Bisu's JH stuff Jita's far standing H and then die for it. I'm like, MBK.
JH can go. JH makes no sense either. Yeah, JH can like get reduced a bit. It's like already good just going that far. That's probably fine, but having that much active frames, that part of it doesn't make sense. So you can take that away. Just lower active frames. Don't change startup or anything. Active frames on that normal were literally, they wanted this normal to be stupid.
Let me see if they have the active frames on it. They probably don't.
Actually, if I go to JH,
nah, they just say 10 frames.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never got the frame data for 2.0. All the stuff I know in terms of 2.0 frame data, I had to hard test myself.
Yep, that's how I found out that Percival's far M is 9 frame startup. Not fun.
Damn.
By the way, I don't know how much longer we're going, but I definitely have to do laundry here in a second.
Yeah, I think this is like a good stopping point. I think we covered everything we definitely needed to cover.
For sure.
We went through our characters, we went through the tier list, we went through matchup charts, we went through what would we change about Belial, because Belial would be the elephant in the room. And I think we can all say this in agreement about Grand Blue Season 2 is that we like the season. Belial is just the outlier. And if anything, if someone at Arxis is happening to watch this, get feedback, please. I beg you. Thank you. But yeah, I think this was like a pretty good roundtable discussion, honestly.